to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills no more. The church will grow. We can buy all kind of things. Let me change my message, please, God. Please. I see Paul sitting there after 22 years. He didn't even have a piece of property to call his own. That's right. He had to beg and borrow. And after he done preached all night long, he would have to go sit on the side of the road and make tents and hope somebody would come and buy it. But all he had to do, can I prove it? When he was a Pharisee and he was preaching a false message, he had plenty of money and wanted nothing. But when he started talking about Jesus, he had nothing. If he just could change the message.
Lord have mercy.
We sit there. I ain't slept good in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Every time I get 2 minutes, I'm trying to take a nap. I'm sitting at my table.
I hear you, Reverend.
Looking at this thing.
I feel you.
Saying, God, can I change the message?
I feel you, Reverend.
I know they ain't gonna want to hear this tonight. Please, Lord, can I just... And it's so bad. I'm going to tell you something. I had $100 bill, and I said, God, I'm going to tell him to give me back change. It's rough now. But when you cried my song, I said, God, let me put it all in there. If you ain't do nothing but just help him, at least maybe one of us will be all right. But if I could just change the message... I mean, look, Saturday night. Church should be full.
Yes, sir.
Power of God in the house of God.
Yes, sir. It's in here, Reverend.
Telling you what you need, not what you want, but what you need. Yes, but where's everybody at? Oh. But if I could just change the message. Well, Pastor, I can see a teacher in a classroom, and he has taught the students well. He has told them time and time again to go home and study. Then they come back to the class with the tests. I can see the teacher sitting down, going over the tests and grading them. And you know what I see the teacher doing? 5% of them have 100.
All right.
He grades some more. 10% of them have 90 or above.
Okay.
He grades some more. 15% of them have 80 or above. But what he does, he looks there and he drops his head, Pastor, because 85% of them have 75 or less. And so the teacher sits there and he knows he's an excellent teacher like Paul. And he starts to question himself. He said, am I teaching them the right way?
Yeah.
And am I giving them the report the way that it should? And so he says to himself, he said, well, maybe I need to change the report just a little bit so I can get them all to pass. And he sits there and he ponders that thing and it weighs him down because he knows that that's the easy way out.
Yes, sir.
So that the students can go ahead and pass. But the problem with that is this, that the pastor, the teacher, if you will, he sits there and he says to himself, if I just tell them what they want to hear and pass them through, what's going to happen to them when they leave my classroom? They're going to go into the world and they won't be able to get a job. They're going to go to college and won't be accepted because they won't have the education that they need. Well, Pastor, as I get ready to get out of your way, I just want to tell you something. Oh, you stay faithful, Pastor. I must know how hard it is for you after 18 years of doing what you've been doing, because I feel like giving up quite often, especially when I'm doing my best. But I found out something. Paul said that not everybody did not obey the gospel, but many of them, 85%, if you will, are not going to obey the gospel. But what you got to do is this: you got to keep on preaching for that 15%. You got to keep on preaching about Jesus for the one that's going to come out of the club and want to be an usher. As hard, I know you know this better than me, but I want to encourage you. As hard as it is, you're going to have to take your eyes